42 million. That's how many times the hashtag NC500 has been used across social media platforms. But why? Why is this road trip so popular? Last week we set out to explore the NC500 yet again, but yet again the East Coast had failed to impress us. Since we've done the NC500 a good few times now, we know that the best of it is yet to come, and the NC500 definitely showed us its best on this trip. We'll get into all of the good bits later in the video, but first we need to get back to the beginning of the day, where things hadn't started out the way we hoped. So we've just been told there's a head-on collision. I have no idea how anyone can have a head-on collision on a road like this. You can see what's coming both ways, but anyway, it's happened. How long it's going to take to get police, ambulance, recovery, clean the debris that's all over the road, presumably it's going to be a while, and this is going to be chaos. So if we wait here, there'll be no way back out because everything will be full. We're just going to go for it, see what happens, and then go from there. I have put it on the Google map though. I've reported the crash, so potentially it might help other people. The crash had forced our hand, so we turned around and drove back the way we came. This diversion wasn't a small one either. In total, it was over 55 miles, and thanks to the rural roads, it took us nearly 2 hours to complete. Luckily for us though, the diversion was beautiful. So much so we decided to include it in our NC500 Improved Travel Guide as a suggested detour for anyone who wants to venture off the official route. We eventually made it to Tongue, where we found out that taking the diversion was definitely the right decision. So we took a 2-hour diversion instead of waiting in the traffic, and it looks like the ambulances and stuff have just started to head there, so I'm glad we done that. But this is Tongue. I'll show you it from the drone because it doesn't look anywhere near as nice on this little thing as it does from up in the air. We're excited to announce that our NC500 Improved Travel Guidebook is available now. In the guide we include pages to alert you to narrow single track sections before you get to them. We'll tell you whether it's a section that you can skip, and if you do skip it, what you're going to miss. We also changed the route in our guide. Our route includes some of Scotland's most iconic views and locations that the official route just completely misses. Every location and photograph in the book has a QR code, which allows you to easily navigate to it without having to mess on with postcodes. The guide also comes with a digital map counterpart that's got every single spot plotted on it, so you can plan your daily itinerary with ease. All in, there's over 450 different things to do, from must-sees, activities, beaches, viewpoints, food recommendations, pit stops, campsites, overnight park-ups, and we've even included every single petrol station on the route, so you're never guessing where your next fill-up's coming from. You also get a free 90-page Isla Harris ebook with any purchases of the NC500 Improved or the Ultimate Scottish Road Trip Guides. This part is where everything goes single track, so essentially we go down and round the other side of there, which you can see possibly on the video. It's not a massively hard drive or anything, it's just it's single track for a big chunk. One of the key parts of this one though is that you can see quite far ahead, so it's not too bad. The NC500 has a way of rewarding you for putting up with its flaws, and in this section that's no different. After a painful drive on the single track roads, we turned a corner only to be greeted by this. And again on, what is it, a zip wire? Yeah. See what it's like. I don't know whether they'll let us take the camera on. Presumably they will, at my own risk of dropping it, but it looks like you should. I don't think you'll have to keep hold of the wire. We'll give it a whirl. So we've done that, and now we've seen this cliff jump thing which looks sketchy, but I'm game for out like that. Plenty of stuff to cook, but I didn't really want to cook, so this is what I'm having instead. Ham, fillet, hot sauce. Done the cliff dive and the little zip wire. It was good fun. We're at Smoo cave now. I'm very busy. So Smoo cave is there, you can see it in the background. We'll show you properly in a minute, but there's also like some cliffs which we didn't walk to last time, but it seems like the waves and stuff are splashing up quite a bit, so we're gonna have a little knob. Already got that. Check.
Yes, let's go and have a little knob, babe.
We're gonna have a little we're gonna have a little nab. So sometimes it's worth, when you see a path, just have a wander, see where it brings you, because look at that. What a lovely little view. This is Smoo Cave, and it's a little bit louder than it was last time, because we came when it was quiet, where there's people in, and you go in and up on the right, there's like a little waterfall that comes through the hole in the roof. It's pretty cool. In there where the little bridgey bit goes, there's like a waterfall inside. You have to come and see it, it's free, you just park up and have a little wander in. Again, I don't know on video whether it'll do the size of it justice, because it's massive. We finished up at Smoo Cave and headed the short hop west to the incredible Sango Sands. If you haven't been to Sango Sands, it should be on your priority list, and if there's a campsite you want to stay on, not that we've stayed on it, it's the one on the top of the hill. Right up there. What a bloody lovely location for a campsite that is. Like I say, we haven't stayed on it, so I cannot recommend it necessarily for its facilities on now, because I've never been. But in terms of like where it is, beautifully placed. What a gorgeous place.
Someone who normally doesn't like beaches.
I hate beaches normally.
I think this was the one that actually changed your mind, if you remember.
It's so unusual. Like even like look at the formation of the rocks around there on the cliff, and then you've got the waves that roll in alongside them cliffs. You got a beach over there, then behind the viewpoint there's another beach, cool rocks, loads of little alcoves. The water is just mad. Looks like there's a bath bomb in there. How does that even happen?
Hello.
What have you been buying?
Well, I bought you some treats.
Oh.
Oh, that changes your tune rating.
So on my next video, if I'm fat, it's her fault. So we were pulling up after Danny had bought us some treats, and she says, "That's a deer, that, on the beach." I went, "It's not, man, it's a dog." I thought it was like one of them lurchers or something. There's just something beautiful about it. Beautiful with deer, but when you see one on a beach, especially this kind of beach, a beautiful one like this, blows your little mind. Lovely. This is definitely a must-see, this beach. We'll put a bit more details. I'll get the drone and stuff out as well. I just sort of dropped everything, jumped out the van, and come for a walk because of the fact that there was just a deer sitting there. Mad. If you're looking for a road trip somewhere a little bit closer to home, we've got a free guide to Scotland's hidden gem. No single track roads, just easy driving and incredible views, and it's perfect for a long weekend getaway. Grab your free guide by subscribing to our newsletter, the link is in the description, and also watch out for our weekly In the Spotlight emails where we look at more of Scotland's lesser known gems. This beach is better than Sango Sands. So you got that, which is ridiculous. You'll have already seen it now because of the drone footage. And you've got so much space. You've got a golf course literally behind us. You've got, well, that side which you can't see, there's a ridiculously cool looking graveyard, which Danny more than me, but she's a huge fan of cool graveyards. And then over there, which is Cape Wrath, that's obviously where the military practice stuff. So there's been fighter jets flying about. One of them's dropped some sort of bomb or a rocket onto the island that you might not be able to see off the coast there. It's in a huge smoke plume, and then after about a minute you just felt like it thud and a loud bang, which was pretty cool. I've not seen a beach like this before. This is like Luskin Tyre but probably a bit better, I would say. I mean, Luscantire is amazing as well, like, but it's up there with Luscantire, definitely. I'd had me mind blown at Balnakeil Beach, but it was time to find a park up. Luckily, Park for Night, as always, came to the rescue, and we found a lovely little spot right next to a loch. To a nice bit of jerk chicken and a couple of cans just to relax.
How's it been eating your words? Tasty.
To be honest, one of my favourite things is eating my own words. It just is. Yeah, I don't mind it because I'm so cynical about stuff. When I eat my words, that just means it's been good. That's better. I'd rather be that way than be like, oh, it's going to be amazing, and then it turns out to be cack. So there we have it. Be miserable. Morning, we slept really well last night, even though, realistically, we were woke up at least twice in the middle of the night by the sheep. Before we went to bed, it was all pretty cute because you see them all walking along, you're like, oh, aren't they cute little things just wandering along. But when they wander back past at 3 in the morning and then again past at 6 in the morning, they're not quite as cute. Once I'd finished mourning about the sheep and packed the outstanding guidebook orders from the previous day, it was time to press on down the incredibly dramatic west coast. It doesn't take long for the scenery to change as you head south down the rugged western side as the beaches make way for mountains and lochs. We arrived at the world famous Gairloch Bridge. After you cross the bridge, you arrive at a possible turn-off to head down the B869. This section of road is narrow with very poor visibility and it's a bit of a nightmare to drive. So if you've got a particularly large van or you're not a very confident driver, I would seriously consider whether you should skip this section and head south. There is a big downside though, because if you do decide to skip this part, you'll miss Clachtal and Achmelvik beaches, which are both some of the best beaches in Scotland. This is Drumbeg viewpoint. I'll have shown you on the drone and it's beautiful. The weather, despite this, is glorious. It's a busy viewpoint and it's a hard one to get to because, as you've seen now, the roads that lead up to it, horrific, awful, not designed for any traffic, never mind the quantity that gets on it. And that's what I mean about the NC500, that's the downside of it. Push on, we've got 20 minutes-ish of hellish driving, awful roads and so on.
Someone was whinging about coming for the tour.
Couldn't really be bothered, to be honest. I just wanted to sit in the van. I don't know why, because the weather, probably because the weather is too hot. I'm dressed in black, there's no wind. I'm not a summer creature, me, I prefer the winter. I'm built for the winter like a leopard sail. I'm insulated. We're at a waterfall which is beautiful and I do need a photo for the guide, so we'll get it. We'll show you how pretty it is. Been having a bit chat to a viewer, not sure if you're a subscriber. See how friendly I was, make sure you subscribe, link below, get yourself a guidebook. Nice to see yous out doing a road trip that I advised against previously. Glad you, just like Danny, ignore everything I say. Like the boulders at the top that look like they're going to come falling over the side. If you want to walk up there and get a proper wash, you can. But down here it's just nice. We've got that's in the shade. Oh, it's going to look lovely on a photograph, that. Very pretty. The whole area is pretty. It's just the drive that's the only downside about this section. But sometimes it's worth it, and I'm glad you forced us to get out the van because I couldn't be bothered to come out. But I did. Since we don't need any photos of the beach or anything, we also spotted Hermit's Castle on the map, and I didn't notice that last time, but I think it's on the backside of these cliff things, and it looks like a tiny castle, presumably. But for anyone that ever questions when people say that you got beaches literally like the Caribbean in Scotland, you actually just have. You can't even deny it. Look at that. Do you want to place a bet on whether there's a human turd in there? If you can get it, looks like a door. And the last one of them we went in down the east coast of the NC 500 the first time. If you remember, there was human shite on the floor. I'm going to do my best to show you inside. Doesn't look like there's any turds. This is one of the reasons why I love like Mallaig and just this whole area on the west coast, because all the beaches you've got these little private like alcoves. I mean, obviously the beach is busy because it's like the weather's ridiculous. You come out of here, if you just want to sit and chill and get eaten by midgies, then this, you can just sit and chill here. There's absolutely no one else about. You can climb over that one, go over that one. Obviously you need to be relatively agile like me, like a cat. I think I'm going to go for a dip in the sea. And he's not coming in, he's just bottling it. Battler. We finished at the beach and headed back inland where we came to the stunning Ardre Castle. No idea what waterfall this one is. I'm not sure of its name. Danny found it, but it looked like it was much further away than it is. But when you come to this sort of castle, you just look on the other side, which it's easy to miss because the castle's so cool. You've got a nice little waterfall, literally 30, 40, 50 metres maybe off the road. Nice easy walk, kinda. Be careful, there's a bit of wire running along the floor where it was a fence. Danny was just testing its structural integrity and tripped over it on the way down. We'd stopped off in Ullapool, restocked with some beer and then found a beautiful park up for the night. At this park up we met a couple of subscribers, Scott and Colin, who let us have a rummage around their beautiful motorhome, giving us a little bit of van envy the next morning when we woke up. We met a couple who were parked next to us, lovely couple. Kind of encroached a little bit just so we can have a proper neb in their motorhome. Got proper envious of how beautiful and luxurious and it smelled lush as well. They had candles on, they had picture frames that they put up when they get there. We didn't do none of that. We need to start doing all that. The carpet in the van was cleaner than what we've got at home, and they had 2 dogs. We're in Gairloch Beach. It's right next to a graveyard and a church and a lovely little bay with golf course and mountains and scenery, and it's just gorgeous. Been here before a few times now. I would say it's probably some of your favourite sections, isn't it, this? Yeah. It's very nice, very pretty, and we just thought, since I've been to Morrison's and grabbed a Costa, then he's making a cup of tea, we're going to have a little wander down the beach and just relax. How's this for a lovely viewpoint? And I think, in fact I'm not thinking, I am gonna go for a dip in the sea. I think with the weather and everything else, I honestly don't know if I've enjoyed any road trip that we've done in Scotland as much as this specific one. This beach seems to be the beach where we always meet subscribers. So we met another 2, what are they called? Lisa and Mark. Lisa and Mark. Lovely to have a chat and meet you. Hope you enjoy sitting up on that little viewpoint and watching me wash myself in the sea like a large seal. I think the last 2 times we've been here, that's like probably 8 people we've met in total who have sort of said hello and stuff like that. So I'm gonna come back, get me wet shorts on, going for a little dunk. That's the van, it's cool. carried on south, driving through one of Scotland's most beautiful valleys en route to Torridon. It was there where Danny ruined my day. She wanted us to do Applecross Pass. Now, I've driven Applecross Pass a good few times now, and I think it's the most overhyped and awful road in the UK. But Danny had never been with us any times I'd done it before. I put up a fight, but in the end I thought it was only fair that she got to experience the absolute abomination that is Applecross Pass. If for whatever reason the footage in the background isn't enough to put you off driving Applecross Pass, here's a little overview of the problems. Problem number 1, the roads, they're awful and they're in bad condition, and at best they're designed for local traffic only. Problem number 2, there's nowhere near enough passing places, so you get to enjoy sitting staring at the back of someone else's car or van most of the time. Problem number 3, the views driving up or down can't be enjoyed unless you love looking at passing places and watching Jeff in his Swift squeeze past your van, leaving only millimetres to spare. And problem number 4, the viewpoint at the top just isn't worth the drive. It's just not, and if you think otherwise, then you're wrong. There are many things that are painful but worth the pain, like having a baby for example, but Applecross Pass isn't one of them things. What do you think? Applecross, worth it?
The views are lovely.
They're not though.
They are.
They're no better than any other views we've just done.
They're a bit more dramatic.
Because you're higher up and you can just and you can potentially tumble off a cliff when you're trying to let Rita and our Renault through.
It is more dramatic.
If you've got a motorbike and you want to have a whale of a time, I can only imagine how much fun this would be, presuming no one in campervans or vans or motorhomes or cars are there, and you come up early, maybe it's in the morning or late at night or whenever it's quiet. You'll have a great time. Scenery's decent, but it's not much better than, well, it's not better than some of the views you've seen the whole way around the NC500 anyway.
No.
Well, you think that's better than anything else you've seen?
I don't think it's better.
No,
I just think
it's on par.
Dramatic.
Yeah, it's on par. It is on par with some of the other stuff, but it's just, for what? To sit in all of this.
No, I agree with you on that part.
I hate it. Honestly, I can't stand it. There's certain things I do agree with that are like iconic, that you have to see. Most of them you drive past anyway, so you have to. This, for one, is out the way, and 2, it's iconic, but I don't know why, because it's cack. Don't bother doing it. Or if you do, at least I've warned you. It's in the guidebook explaining it. All of that. There's other parts where I've explained the other dodgy sections of road that you might not enjoy that are optional. There is some that are not really optional and you have to, but they're not that bad. The 2 bad bits, one's this and the other bit is leading to Clutch Toll and everything, which again I've detailed in the book. I've explained what you'll miss if you don't do them, and also what you'll see if you do them. So as I've said, the guidebook is available now. The Ultimate Scottish Road Trip Guidebook is available now still. And all of the digital quick access guides are available. So them cover the Isle of Arran, the Isle of Mull, the Shetland and Orkney Islands, the Cairngorms, the Ultimate Scottish Road Trip, and Harris and Lewis. If you buy the paperback or ebook edition of the NC500 or the Ultimate Scottish Road Trip, you also receive a free ebook guide for the Isle of Harris and Lewis. It's 100 pages, got everything in it. All of them have got everything you need to have the best possible time while you're in sunny Scotland, or at least it's been sunny Scotland. Why are you on the fucking wrong side of a road on a passing place, you get bell end?